Just because you love each other from here to the moon and back, like you usually say, does not in any way mean that you will not have fights about and or over money. You see, while money will have little to nothing to do with love, it will have quite a lot to do with many of the fights that you will be having. And this is a major fallacy, it's a major myth amongst the married and amongst those that are about to get married. On the premise of love, they ignore talking about money, they ignore discussing about money, because love will help them, will prevent them from fighting in future about money, only for it to catch up with them once they settle down. And many times it catches up with them in a very bad way. As long as the two of you continue to hold opposing money values, as long as the two of you are not deliberate in talking about and discussing your financial and even planning your financial matters together, as long as the two of you still make financial decisions without regarding each other's feelings and views about the same, then your relationship is going to be prone to many of these fights. The fights can be pronounced and verbal, and even in worst cases, physical. In some instances, the fights can be quiet, especially where you decide not to talk about money and everyone does their own things, their own style and their own way. Of course, it degenerates into emotional detachments, and sometimes it even gets worse. We've seen cases where this has gotten worse than it could even be imagined, because as long as you have started being emotionally apart, because money is very emotive, so as long as you've started being emotionally apart, a lot of other detachments begin to happen, and before we know it, it might get to levels that were never anticipated. Either way, money will have succeeded in putting you guys asunder. The world out here may never know, but the two of you who are the most important in your relationship equation will feel it to the core. Very many couples rarely talk about money except when they're fighting about it. Look, you can do better.